This Sunday, July the 1st, will mark the 15th anniversary of the 1997 handover of Hong Kong from British to Chinese control, an occasion for a great deal of celebration here in the mainland. Chinese President Hu Jintao has begun his three-day visit to Hong Kong, where he'll attend the ceremony marking the anniversary. Hong Kong was first ceded to Britain in 1842 as part of what's called in China the unequal treaties. That's a series of rather one-sided agreements in which colonial powers took control of Chinese land basically through military pressure or threats. 1997 marked the end of a 99-year lease negotiated between Britain and China, thus resulting in the return of the territory. Mainland Chinese almost unanimously view the handover as the joyous reunification of Chinese territory and the fulfillment of a century-long aspiration. On the other hand, thousands of Hong Kongers emigrated before the handover out of fear of what might happen under mainland authority, despite a promise that the new special administrative region, as it's now called, would keep its own laws and freedoms for 50 years. At first, travel from the mainland was tightly controlled, but as restrictions were loosened, the number of mainland visitors increased dramatically, and today they actually make up the vast majority of visitors to Hong Kong. So what are net users' views on Hong Kong over the past 15 years, and how do they think the handover to China has affected Hong Kong? Well, to get an idea, let's now join our researcher Esther Dung in the newsroom, who's been following the online discussion. First off, Esther, as I mentioned, July the 1st will be an important moment, and I guess plenty of media coverage and discussion online, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Actually, almost every major web portal has published features on this topic. These features mainly celebrate the achievements Hong Kong has made over the past 15 years and recall the communication and cooperation between Hong Kong and mainland China in various fields. The features also showcase the interviews with Hong Kong political figures who talk about what they see as the success of the one country, two systems policy. I've also come across plenty of posters who agree with the optimism of these pieces, like a poster who has this to say on 163.com. I remember in 1995, Fortune magazine published a cover story entitled "The Death of Hong Kong" to deplore its headover to China. Some Hong Kong people were also not clear about the future, and many even felt sad and disappointed. But now, after 15 years, Hong Kong hasn't declined. Instead, with the support from mainland, it has developed quickly. And Xing Liyu on ChinaNews.com also agrees. Our central government's preferential policies to Hong Kong has contributed a lot to its peace and development. And the loosening of restrictions on traveling from the mainland to Hong Kong has increased the number of mainland visitors, which brings huge economic benefits to Hong Kong.
Okay, I'm sure nobody would deny the efforts and contributions mainland China has made to Hong Kong, but the relationship between mainlanders and Hong Kongers hasn't always been smooth. Even here on China Take, we've mentioned how some people from Hong Kong resent those who come from the mainland to give birth to their children there. We've even seen them call these people locusts in local Hong Kong newspaper adverts. Why do you think that is? What's causing all these spats between the two sides?
Well, a certain number of posters also noticed this aspect, and they sharply point out that Hong Kong has returned to China physically, but not psychologically. First, this poster from Jiangsu mentions the case you brought up. It's a joke to say Hong Kong has socially integrated into China, as our media often portrayed. If it has, its people wouldn't call us locusts. And this poster from Shenzhen sounds even more pessimistic. Actually, the Hong Kong people want to get rid of any relationship with the mainland. That's the reality, whether you like it or not. And And Boys from Shanghai shares his or her understanding of unification on iPhone.com. See? What defines unification is the identification and agreement in values and a way of seeing the world. And interestingly, I've also seen plenty of posters who complain about the advantages Hong Kongers enjoy but mainlanders don't. First, Wang Wan has this question. Well, yes, Hong Kong has returned to China, but why are the Hong Kong television news programs often blocked here in the mainland then? And Dao Ban de Heshang is also confused, commenting, does Hong Kong really belong to China? If the answer is yes, then why do I feel visiting Hong Kong is as difficult as going to another country, since we have to undergo so many procedures to get a travel permit?
Okay, finally, Esther, putting aside these complaints, it's a fact that Hong Kong is now part of China. So are netizens saying anything about the future interactions between Hong Kong and mainland China?
Well, on this question, quite interestingly, the majority of posters I've seen firmly believe the mainland has a lot to learn from Hong Kong, and they praise what they see as an advanced and mature political system in Hong Kong. First, let's listen to 唯我独黑. Hong Kong is a city ruled by the law, and its social organizations and social systems are relatively mature. Their citizens are generally highly educated and have a strong sense of credibility. I've also come across lots of posters who think it's high time for the mainland to learn from Hong Kong in terms of building a society ruled by the law. First, Lin Yan gives his or her own analysis of Hong Kong society. See? Since the Independent Commission Against Corruption, or ICAC, was established in 1974, incorruptibility, together with freedom and the rule of law, have become the core values of Hong Kong. They are also values the people of Hong Kong are proud of. Finally, we have this suggestion from a net user from Jiangsu. To be honest, it's not time for us to talk about how Hong Kong should integrate into mainland, but what mainland China should learn from Hong Kong.
Well, an interesting role reversal there. Thanks for that, Esther.